Peace, peace, peace. I'm waiting on a couple people to join me. How y'all doing tonight? About to get it started. I'm just getting a couple last things ready. Had a couple technical difficulties, so I had to wait and get everything correct. Anybody join up? We gonna roll in a second. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right. There it is. 1 second, y'all. There it is. All right. Waiting for Ice to get here. Okay, Tina Icy got here. Peace. Let me put the link in the comment section. Okay. Comment section. Let me put that link in there. There it is. So the link is in the section. Anybody that might come in, jump on and see what's going down. Let us know you here. We're going to be in and out today. Definitely. We're not going to hold you back today. So come on with it. Come on with it. Peace, Ice. I see you on the other side. I got the link in the comment section. For anybody that want to jump in. I repeated it over there. It's over there 3 times. You know what I'm saying? If you're here, let us know you're here so that we can have a good discussion on this topic. Topic today is about to tick across the screen in a few seconds. So what's been going on? Anybody out there got something to say? Talk to me. Mr. Simmons, peace, sir. How you doing this evening? Hope all is well. Yeah. Put it on the comment section there for us, y'all. I'm about to put the ticker across the screen so y'all can see the subject. Boom. Subject is there. Link is there for anybody that want to join. If you come on to the Facebook, try to switch over to the YouTube, do what you do. We're ready to get it started. We're going to talk about this subject. Is $50 enough for a first date? We had a quick video that we actually, Ice came up with that we played a little earlier. And we want to see what people think about it. Ice is about to enter the stage, y'all. Peace, Ice.
Peace, brother. Peace, brother.
Tell us something good.
It's been a long work day for me. However, I'm here and I'm joining the live virtually. Unfortunately, I cannot join in person with my brother because my allergies are kicking my ass. However, I'm here.
Hey, as long as you're here, that's the most important.
I'm here.
You know what I mean? That's the most important. Yes. The most important thing. We're gonna try to see if we can get a couple more people up in here, and then we're gonna get to this $50 first date. But while we
$50, wow.
But while we waiting, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna play a little bit of the clip. I'm gonna play about a minute worth of the clip.
All right, do that.
Let me do that real quick. Let me do that while we're waiting for other people to come. Mr. Simmons is on that.
All right. I in the group I shortened the video down to just a minute. So if you wanted to snatch that one up, that would be awesome. It gives you just the first 1 minute.
Okay. We're about to do that then. Okay, let me present it real quick. While we waiting for anybody else to come, and then if they come, then we get to it.
Right. Bobby Simmons, thank you for joining us. What's good, family?
All right, let's see what they think. Uh-oh.
If you don't got it, be reasonable. If you don't got it, grind so you can get it, but do not overextend yourself. That's all I'm gonna say that. But the man said that if a woman expects him to spend more than $50 on the first date, she's high maintenance. This is what he said in the comment section, and it was men and women alike agreeing, saying that that is too much to expect from a man, that there is cheaper ways, more creative ways to have first dates, and if she can't rock with him when he's spending less than 50, she doesn't deserve him. Before I get into it, date according to your pocketbook. All right, brothers,
Okay.
if you ain't got it, don't be acting like you got something you don't got. Don't be overextending yourself if you don't got it. Be reasonable. If you don't got it, grind so you can get it, but do not overextend yourself. That's all I'm gonna say that. But the man said that if a woman expects him to spend more than $50 on the first date, she's high maintenance. This is what he said in the comment section, and it was men and women alike agreeing, saying that that is too much to expect from a man, that there is cheaper ways, more creative ways to have first dates, and if she can't rock with him when he's spending less than 50, she doesn't deserve him.
All right, y'all. What say you about that $50 spending on a first date? What you say, Ice? Talk to us about this one. Tell us something good about that one. We can't hear you. Ice, we can't hear you.
I have a few points that I would like to call out about the video and some things that he said in the video that kind of spoke to me. The first thing that definitely hit hard, because I feel like this message isn't heard loud and clear enough, and that is to date within your pocket range. You gotta date within your range. If you are a $50 date guy or a $25 date guy, that's cool. But don't go searching for, and attempting to entertain a woman who has a high budget, who has a high taste. Because it's never going to work. And I'm just going to be very honest, it's never going to work. If this were a first date and you are a $25 guy and you take this high budget female out on a date and you intend to spend $25, you're not getting past that first date.
So
you might not even make it past the rest of the evening.
How does a guy identify a woman that's not under $50 first date material? How does that happen?
So I think in the dating world, a lot of guys don't assess what's within your range, right? You don't know how to, but the signs are always there. If you're dating on social media, which a lot of people are doing these days, right? They're using social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the other social media sites. They're looking and potentially attempting to date women that they see on these sites. Now, the telltale signs I said are there. So if this woman is constantly posting about taking trips and she's going overseas, and she always wears designer, and she owns her own home, and these are things that most women who do those things post about. This is what they post about.
Okay.
But yet you live at home with your mom. You're working at Burger King.
Yep.
And you have no set goals in mind. Don't attempt to chase her, because you're going to be heartbroken. You're going to be upset. It's not going to end well. As a matter of fact, someone of that caliber is probably not even going to entertain your advances. So it's a waste of time. Should you lust after women like that? Well, absolutely, especially if they're outside of your pocketbook. But let's be realistic. I can't see someone of that caliber, a woman who owns her own home, who travels overseas often, who always wears designer. She's not looking for a guy at Burger King. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't possible or that it hasn't happened. What I am saying is the probability of things working out, being that you two are not on the same financial status, it's slim to none.
Okay, that's peace. The one thing that I see with this though, this is where I'm at. Well, before I even say that, I'm gonna say what Mr. Simmons said. Mr. Simmons said, "Who's responsible for paying for the first date?" That's a good question. For me personally, I'm gonna say this. I think the person who invites the opposite to the first date is responsible for the first date, at least by say so. They might not have to do it, but if I ask somebody to come somewhere with me, no matter where it is, I'm gonna mute your mic for 1 second, Jason. So no matter what, is it me? Okay. So no matter what, if I decide to ask somebody to come somewhere with me, if it's to the restaurant or if it's to the park or if it's to a trip, I'm going to pay for it because I'm the one that asked. Right now, don't get me wrong. That woman, she could go ahead and say, hold on, I got that. Don't worry about this. That could be done too. So that could be the first date. Like she could be like, okay, boom, I'm gonna pay for it. Don't worry about it. I just want to be out here with you. So that's some things that always happen too. But when we're talking about a monetary figure for a first date, I always found that heavy because I look at life like this. If we wanted to get together and we wanted to have some fun, let's just go. Let's just do. And if it costs $10, it's cool. If it costs $100, it's cool. If it costs $200, $300, $400, $500, that's still cool because it's just going to depend on where you decide to go, right? So I'm like what you said. So you got some of the women that you might just want to take around the corner and get some a chili dog and some chips. Who knows? And then you got some women that you want to, like you just said, they might be the ones that's on social media with the high fashion and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. So you're going to take them to, I'm just throwing examples out here, y'all, Papados, right? And so if you know that Papados, the bill at Papados is going to be more than $50 as opposed to the chili dog stand, right? But with each one of them, you're going to have fun. You know what I mean? And then, so like me personally, I don't care if she's so-called high maintenance or not. I'm going to go where I go, right? I'm going to go where I go, and I'm not even going to worry about the cost of it, if I can handle it. I'm not saying that I can handle every cost. I don't think I can, but I know if I can handle the cost of it, I'm going to go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, and we don't know who you are, so I'm just saying somebody. You got something to say on that? Somebody said, I want a JJ chicken woman. Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, another thing that the author of that piece mentioned is that
Very peace.
You really have to understand who you're dating, who you're asking out on that first date, second date, etc. Impromptu dates are always awesome, but when you're planning a date for a woman, you need to understand if she's a hot dog stand type of girl, because even some high fashion women desire some of the simplest dates there are, like a walk in the park. But you have to get to understand that that's what she likes by way of questioning. That's part of the initial first meeting questionnaire.
Right.
So you obviously can't take a girl that you have no clue who she is and what she's about, what she likes, what she doesn't like, to a hot dog stand if you haven't asked. Maybe
Right.
she doesn't eat meat. She's a vegan. But how would you know that if you haven't asked?
Right.
So I think it's first and foremost most important to ask those questions before the date even happens, so that you can have in your artillery an arsenal of what to do with her, and not just a one-trick pony. Like, you can't just say, okay, she says she likes walks in the park, I'm going to take her on a walk in the park. Because then it's going to make the woman feel like, I fed you that information. You only asked, what do I like walks in the park? And I said yes, but you didn't ask an open-ended question like, what types of dates do you desire?
Okay. I got a question for anybody that wants to answer, right? Mr. Perry, LA, you, Mr. Simmons, obviously, myself, right? What's the most expensive first date or date you've had? What would that be? Terry G. Terry G says, you take me for steak. I see you're trying too hard, or you want things later. Oh, that's a good point, Terry, because so now basically you saying that we can't spend a man or a woman if she wants the man that bad too, because I'm going to put it the other way as well. You know, because a woman can take us on the first date too, and she can take us where we want to go too. So you can't spend too much, right? If you going on the first date. Is that what you saying, Terry? Because now we're looking at something like, okay, we got to have a fair balance here. Because if we go get some lobster and steak at a good place, right? Then you saying, and you haven't had no fun yet, bedroom fun. We adults. You ain't had no bedroom fun. Now we got to have some bedroom fun just because we had that thing, just because we had some lobster and steak. Is that what that is? I don't know.
So with that specific comment, I'd have to say there are guys that expect the bedroom afterwards, even with a simple date, even with a walk in the park. The fact that they took time out of their day to spend time with you, the end result should be some bedroom tango. However, you as a woman or a man, because it does happen on the flip side, you have to really understand what the expectations are before you even go on the date. Whether you set them yourself or whether that person sets them. I've dated guys in the past where they've said, you know, I just want to take you out to dinner, no strings attached, nothing involved. I simply just want to take you out to dinner and have conversation. That way the level setting happens before the date, so I don't feel pressured.
Right. No pressure. And then the person might feel looser. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all say about, think about that for a second. Come up with some answers about what's the most expensive first date or even date that you've been on. Real date too, not just kicking it with your peoples. Hold on, let me ask this. Mr. Simmons said you definitely should communicate with each other about places like they like. You don't want to end up on social media with someone complaining about a particular venue. Hey, Mr. Simmons, that's kind of like the lady was complaining about was it Applebee's or something like that, or Chili's or something? I think it was Applebee's. What was that lady complaining about, Ice?
I think it was the Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory, yes, Cheesecake Factory. I don't go to places like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So she wouldn't. I go to what people might consider lower level than Cheesecake Factory,
like Applebee's, Chili's.
Man, I go to the sandwich shop, and Ice, listen. I go to the sandwich shop, and this is the best date that somebody could go with me. This is like the one thing that you're gonna be like, bet, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Then you also got the ones where, like, if somebody's dealing with me, they're gonna eat what I eat sometimes, right? And so sometimes that might be something that's a little outside the ordinary. You know, like it's one restaurant I go to that I like, they only serve vegan food. You see what I'm saying? But now here's the cold part about that restaurant, right? That restaurant is not cheap. I think that restaurant you're gonna spend minimum $215 up in there. You're gonna spend at least $215. That's minimum. So I don't know, what should we be expecting when we spend $215? Is it anything on the menu after the menu? Is that
I would say that expectation has to be set prior to the date. Like seriously, if you as an adult can't at least have a simple conversation about an expectation, then maybe dating isn't where you need to be at night. You need to be in gentleman's school or somewhere, because being in someone's bar, restaurant, or club or park is not where you need to be. Some guys need to learn simple etiquette, and communication skills go a long way with that.
okay?
So I don't care if you don't spend any money at all, but if your expectation is you're going to get something after the date and I don't know about it, you're probably not going to get a second date or anything after that date. That date might, if I get a gut feeling that you probably want something more and it wasn't talked about or agreed upon, yeah, I might leave the date midway.
So let me ask this then. This is for anybody, right? Let's see. 1 second, real quick. Terry said, yeah. Then Mr. Perry said, spent a lot of money at Ruth Chris Steakhouse, but she was worth it. Hey, that's all right. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. There's a lot go with that one, Mr. Perry. Ruth Chris is expensive too. They don't play no games up in there, especially depending on what you get. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that should be, it should be worth it. Mr. Simmons said, I didn't want to say the name of any establishments unless they are sponsors. No free shout outs. Hey, that's right. That other joint. That's what we're going to say, the other joint. You feel me? That's peace, Mr. Simmons. That's peace. You know what, though? So, do you have the conversation, and this is just for the general public. I know what I do. Do we have the conversation about dessert before we go to dinner? What y'all say?
Are we talking physical dessert, like something you consume other than a human body?
We talking about the human body right now. We're not talking about we talking about the human body. We're talking about what's on the plate.
Right. Okay. So no, I don't feel that it's necessary to discuss desserts. Not every woman desires sweets. So again, that is part of the discussion. Like me personally, I would love to go to a dessert bar where there is nothing but desserts and beverages, if there were ever such a thing. And that is a shameless plug for anyone who's looking for a business idea in the city of Milwaukee. Yeah, I would be a dedicated customer if you had a dessert bar. But anyway,
we talking about beer and dessert,
right? Okay. Exactly, sweets.
That would be good dessert bar.
Yes,
that would be good served up. That might have to go to Vegas for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Vegas for that one. Absolutely. So no, I don't feel that it needs to be discussed, and nor are you going to have an entree and just an appetizer, or are you going to have both, or are you going to have an expensive drink along with your meal? Like the specifics don't need to be discussed, especially if I know where I'm going or I know where I'm taking you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if I know I'm taking you to Ruth Chris, then I know what the menu items are, and I should be prepared to cover just about anything on the menu that you desire.
Okay, so now is that limited to the restaurant? What if we go into a comedy show or a concert or say an airplane trip? You know, we taking a little ride over to another city, 2-3 hours, 2 hours over there or whatever, and we're gonna be there for just the weekend. So is that the same thing? Do we have to discuss what comes next? Should if I pay for the tickets, should she have to pay for anything else, or should that be a part of the first date? Then I'm like, okay, if it is a first date, or if it's relatively new date, I'm just using that as an example. But if we're gonna go, we're gonna stay in the United States and say we're gonna go down to Miami for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Is that a reasonable first date?
I think it is a reasonable first date. However, expectations need to be set before the trip happens. So if your expectation is that we're going to go to Miami and whatever happens, happens, and it's agreed upon, rock with it. But if you have an expectation that's unsaid and unwritten, and she's just going down there to have a great time, your expectations aren't lining up, and that could lead to disaster.
It could be so. You remember that video? Remember that one we did the video where the young lady flew out to like Houston or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember. And he drove her back to the airport.
He drove her back to the airport because he was like, "Nah, man, you ain't having no fun. You know, somebody got to roll in this head over here."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be able to do that. Well,
right.
If you don't, then you got to go. But now check this out, baby. Is there an amount, right? Is there an amount from a woman's perspective? Is there an amount that a guy could spend on a first date or second date or even a third date, relatively new dating, right? Is there an amount that a guy could spend that she'll feel obligated to roll in the hay?
No.
No.
And I'm just speaking for personal experience. No. It doesn't matter how much you spend on the first date, second date, fifth date, 10th date. If I don't know what your expectations are, and you might have that expectation to lead to somewhere else, but maybe I don't. Honestly, the dollar amount of the date isn't even into the mix. Like, it almost makes it feel like it's a transaction. Like, I'm going to take you out and I'm going to spend $200 on a meal. So at the end of that meal, I'm expecting some bedroom action. It's very transactional. And to me, just me personally, that's a huge turnoff.
Okay. Let me ask this real quick. First, Mr. Perry said she did something great for a big juicy stack. Great. All right. Mr. Simmons said, don't forget about the gratuity at the end. It could be over 20%. That's true. It could get high. Gratuity can get outrageous depending on what you're doing. Let me ask this. This is a question I always have, especially when I'm watching the other show that I be watching. There you go, Mr. Simmons. I ain't said. But when I be watching that other show, it's always a lot of talk about dollar figures, right? And what that other person has to bring in or don't have to bring in. So from a woman's perspective, what do you say about what is that conversation about? The dollar figure, how much a person is making. You know what I'm saying? What is that about if there aren't any expectations from like the man? A man don't really mind. He don't really care. Not all, but most men don't really care what a woman is making, right? But he want to have some fun. You see what I'm saying? And the woman really don't care about the fun, not all, but they really want to know that he able to be making a lot of money. So what is it about that making that money, that dollar figure? What is all that about?
So I feel that it's very unnecessary to throw out finances when you're looking to go on a first date or get to know someone. That isn't an appropriate topic to discuss. And the other show that you're referencing, she's made that part of her platform, and I mean, it works for her, but I don't think that it is appropriate to say, I need someone that makes X amount of dollars before I would even entertain a date. For the person that has that expectation, you could be missing out on some really good quality people that just don't live up to that financial standard, but may have checked off every single other box that you set in that questionnaire, right? So he might be a great guy with no kids, and his credit is great, and everything else. He's tall, he's dark, he's handsome, probably has a big package. You never know all of that because you've already checked him off simply because he doesn't meet your financial standards.
Because he make 50,000 or 75,000, not 100K.
Right, but you know that 50K a year is what works for that man, and he probably has been able to manage his finances very well. But you would never know that because the minute that he hears or you say, if you're not making 100K or better, I'm not entertaining you, you're losing out potentially on a really great guy.
Right. So that kind of sounds like the first date standard should be wiped off the table as far as how much a guy might or a woman should have to spend if they want to go on a date with somebody, because there are a lot of women that ask men out on first dates too. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they be in office type of situations or work situations or school situations, they'll ask, can they go out on a certain amount of date, you know, certain kind of date. And I noticed that one way a lot of people are getting around that today, right? I never did it because I don't get down like that, but a lot of people are using the you want to go for coffee situation, right? And that right there is making it easy to spend $15, $20, $25. You know what I'm saying? And that's really a good amount if you just really want to say, okay, let me see what's happening. Now we can get to second date. Second date probably be elevated. You know what I'm saying? And then so on and so forth until you get to a point where you like, okay, now we're gonna really, really get down and let's go do some traveling and so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I certainly understand what you mean, and I think that if everybody had that same analogy, we probably would have less single people in the world.
Right.
It's amazing to me how finances seem to sit at the focal point of dating these days. Mm-hmm. When you think back 20 and 30 years, it didn't matter how much a woman made. A woman wasn't looking for a very well-established man, just someone who could hold their own. And nowadays, the women these days, like the modern day women, have these high ass expectations. And maybe that shifted simply because a lot of women are able to financially support themselves, their families, etc., because we've been forced into the workforce. But I just feel that finances should never be the focal point of who you date.
Let me ask this though, right? Even today, right? Now, excuse me. Now I'm wondering, would a 23-year-old woman today in 2024 worry so much about finances? As I know that now I see some women out here, like, I'm just going to use the word like gold digger type of women, right? But overall, when a woman meet a man today, if she's 23 and he's 25, by some of the stuff that I be seeing, it don't look like she really worried about the finances. It'd be looking like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, the reason I say that is because, again, you'll get to a woman that's maybe in her 40s, 40 and up, right? And so now she got the house, she got the job, she got the car, she got the passport, she do the traveling, she buy her clothes, she do all of these things that realistically adults do, right? But then I'm from my perspective, and I'm wondering from everybody else's perspective, is it legit for her to say, well, why do I need you? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I would ask a woman, though. I'm gonna just be real about it, right? Why would I need a woman if I got my own house, I can wash my own clothes, I got my own car, I got my own job, I buy my own clothes, I go to the grocery store, right? what is the woman for me at 50? What is she adding on to my life? You know, it's different than being at 25. So what would they be doing to bring forth anything better into my life today? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got to look at that too, because I know if I was 25 and was talking to a 25-year-old, I don't think she would worry so much about what the first date costs. You know what I'm saying? Not all.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised. A lot of the younger women these days are driven financially by what they're attracted to. And I say that because nowadays those are the women setting the expectations of, he has to make X amount of dollars because I like these extravagant gifts and I love these extravagant dates, because everything is social media driven. So these younger women, 23, 25, 30, they want to emulate what they see. And what they see is everything on social media. Women being taken on super extravagant dates with bouquets upon bouquets of roses, gifts upon gifts on the first date, trips to Dubai. Yes, some of the 40 plus women also have that expectation, but I feel that because the 40 plus, and I can speak to that affirmatively because I'm in that age range, but we've already established that we know how to adjust and we know how to maintain and we know how to support and be supportive of a man who potentially doesn't make a lot of money.
That's peace.
So we don't desire all of those fancy and extravagant things, such as trips to Dubai and you got to pick me up in a nice fancy ass car and I'm expecting 5 dozen roses delivered before our date and I need a chauffeur. And I mean, I don't set those expectations.
You got some friends, because these women that I be knowing, boy,
Since you asked, no, I'm just kidding.
they be tripping, the ones I know. All right, I need some of those women right there.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Perry said I'm a good cook. So how about that as a first date?
I think that's an excellent first date for me. But if I were looking and you said, hey, Tina, I have a great first date idea. I would like for you to come over. No strings attached. Don't feel pressured. But I would like to cook you a meal.
Yeah.
I would love that. But that's just me.
Yeah. You know what's so funny about that though? Is because see, like, I don't get into it. But I know a lot of people that will. You know, if you come by the house, then they might be looking at it in a different fashion. You know what I'm saying? Because then now it could be like, instead of doing anything crazy, we already at the house. How about some dessert? You know what I'm saying? A little pill Cosby. But
I would say to that, if you have ice cream in your freezer, scoop us up with some toppings and I'm with it. But that's the dessert I have in mind.
All right. Your cousin is on the line. Stacey Terry. Yeah.
Hey.
Peace, Stacey. Mr. Kane Long says, hey guys. Hold on one second. Mr. Kane Long says, hey guys, I got to get ready for work, but I wanted to say what's up. Peace. I miss chopping it up with y'all. I always watch the live videos while I'm on the road. That's peace, Mr. Kane. You dig? That's all right. I mean, Mr. Kane. Yeah, that's peace, man. We miss you though, man. We supposed to be True Live 2. We know who you is. You got incognito names, man. We're gonna use what you put up there.
We definitely know who you are, Mr. Kane Long.
Yeah. we just using what you got on the screen. You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, we miss you, man. Remember, it was the True Live 2 plus you. Remember? So you gotta tell the job you're gonna be a couple minutes behind one day and then do what you gotta do. Miss Terry, Miss Terry says, hey, Miss Terry, how you doing tonight? Hope you having a good evening. Do you have anything to say about what's going on in the first date world? You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for this thing to come up. 1 second, y'all. Mr. Perry says, drug dealers kind of messed it up for the regular man to keep up that expensive splurge. Man, it's weird, man, because I see that part of it too. I see where a lot of people are starting to or was just having a good time, and then cats started being able to splurge on women some years ago with the purses and the shoes and so on and so forth, and now they might still want that. You know what I mean? Again, like I said, I don't see the women that's the younger women desiring that as much. Not all, because we got a lot of women that's young and they might be into the social media and following that lifestyle and hitting the club up. But a lot of the women that I see that's younger, I see them out here with some young guys and they not having it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not like I'm judging them, but I know these guys and they not having it. They just there because they there. You know what I mean? Now, again, with the older women, I'm really recognizing that a lot of the older women, they want to take these trips because sometimes they missed out on their childhood or what they deemed a younger life and they didn't have that fun. So they want to take these trips, and trips are expensive. You could be spending 5 G's on one trip, and that's just getting there, getting there and to stay. But that probably don't have anything to do with all of the excursions and so on and so forth. So you got the trips they want to get to, some of them are getting into fashionable cars. There is no car that's less than, used to be a yearly paycheck. So we getting into that now. A lot of them are going to high-end restaurants on a regular basis. This thing is really kicking off. So a lot of people are, like I said, I'm just explaining ICE some of the 40s that I know and some of the younger people that I know. And some of the younger people that I know, they not having it. They not, because literally the younger people, like I said, I'm not judging them, but I see they ain't got it, but they kicking it together. They holding it down. Now in 20 years, 10 more years, they might be doing the thing. Even in 5 years, they might be doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So, because Mr. Perry said drug dealers kind of messed it up for the regular man to keep up that expensive splurge. You know what I'm saying? Hey, have a great night, Mr. Long. Peace. He said, have a great night, y'all. So that's what it is. I think that a lot of times we get the wrong idea when it comes down to when we meet somebody. She got to be willing to have sex on the first night, do this to me in the car, and all of this stuff for a couple Big Macs or whatever the case is for some, what you said, like some the crab boil. She got to be willing to kick it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's going a little bit beyond the scope of existence right there. You know what I'm saying? She gonna kick it anyway because she there with you. But just depending on when, she just, sometimes I think a woman just want to know that the man gonna stay around. You know what I'm saying? And is he gonna be a good guy to her? You know what I mean? Is he gonna be abusive or mentally or physically? And is he gonna be around for, they want to see that part of it. So the $50 might just be like, okay, what are you willing to invest? And what are you willing to mentally strive for?
And I think that it also gives a woman who accepts the date an opportunity to assess you in a more relaxed environment and to see your mannerisms, right? Like if you're the type of guy that walks ahead of her, doesn't hold the door open, talks loudly and chews and smacks with your mouth open. I mean, we're reading and assessing the situation as it's occurring. So you got to take that into consideration along with the price. You know what I mean? Like, why would you go to a 5-star restaurant and eat with your fingers?
Right, right. You know, the next time I go on a date, right? The next time I go on a date, I'm taking them to the sandwich shop. And we're going to have a great time. I already can tell. I already know what it's going to be like. We're going to have
You got to tell me where the sandwich shop is, because I can't think of any good ones in the city of Milwaukee unless you're going out to like Brookfield or Waukesha or
we're in
Tulsa.
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to Chicago. I seen some pictures of it. This joint is the bomb. You know what I'm saying? I like to go whenever I go to somewhere like that, I just like to go ahead and repeat. I just like to put it on repeat. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go there. I'll go there on repeat. One place you got to go to in Vegas is this. It's a place out there, that vegan spot I just told you about. You got to go to Ice. This is gonna blow your mind. I'm not gonna say it on here, but it's gonna blow your mind when you go to it. You're gonna have a ball. You dig? You can go out there. You can go solo, and it's just gonna mess your head up. You feel me? Yeah. Matter of fact, your cousin live out there. You know, I can tell y'all.
Cousin Stacy definitely lives there, so she might know about the spot you're referring to.
She ain't gonna know about this because it's a vegan spot. So
I don't know. She likes to try a lot of different things.
do she?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Maybe she could try and play around. You feel me?
We still have to plan our trip to Vegas. Our True Live 2 trip to Vegas.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
I'm with it.
We can have a good time out there. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah, we can go out there and just do it. And or you can go out there if you by yourself, or if you go out there, you catch up with her. Let her take you out to that place. I'll tell y'all where it's at. You're gonna love it. Y'all gonna go crazy. You know, it's gonna be a little bit more than $50 though. So just have a good time.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the thing. When's the last time you've been out there?
I haven't been to Vegas in about 2 years. Yeah, it's been about 2 years. I think it was 2021 when I last went.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta get out there. Now, would that be a good first date?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Vegas. But now Vegas is Sin City, right?
It is.
So if you go to Vegas on a first date, I mean, if you was giving advice to women and your friends was like, I'm going to Vegas on the first date, and I don't want to go to the bedroom. What you gonna? How do you advise that? Because it is Sin City.
I would advise them to proceed with caution and to make sure that that expectation is set before she steps on that plane, because I would hate for the first night to end and that's the expectation of the guy, and they end up in separate rooms, or she ends up trying to find a red-eye flight back home. So that expectation that isn't spoken about, if it's not spoken about and you're miles and miles away, that can actually lead to the ruins of the trip altogether, where you would have ordinarily just anticipated, let's just have fun. I don't think that any guy or girl should set the expectation, especially on the first date, to get bedroom action at the end of the night. If it happens, because we all know it does, if it happens, okay, it happens. Chemistry led you to that destination, but don't set the expectation that, yeah, I'm going to get some at the end of this night because I did this and I said that, and no.
Yeah. Okay, so we ain't doing that. We're gonna stay away from that. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. We're gonna make sure that we stay away from. Well, I guess we just got to be silky smooth. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure we get it ready for when that point come up. We gonna do what we do. You know what I'm saying? But that's the point. So I think that's the best part of it too. You know what I'm saying? Um, I guess I'm looking at it like you can. I don't think the amount you spend determines how you kick it at the end. You know what I mean? I don't think so. Not me personally. I don't think that if you spend $50, you shouldn't get to kick it at the end. Or if you spend $20, you shouldn't get to kick it at the end. Or if you spend 300, you should get to kick it at the end. Don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I think you should be able to kick it no matter what. If that's what you're gonna do, if that's how you're gonna get down, you should be able to have a good time and and uh, talk about it and make sure that when you talk, your game is up top enough that will everything goes right for the both of y'all and y'all have a good time for the night. You know what I mean? Anybody else got anything to say? Miss Terry, what say you? You're another woman that we need to hear from. Do you got anything to say that can add on to the $50 conundrum of should a first date cost more than 50 or should it cost less than $50? What do you say about that? And I'm not reading your comment because I don't want to give it away, but you gave it away. I think I can invisible. Can we invisible this comment? No, we can't. I can't. But yeah. All right. So what you say, Miss Terry, about, or Cutting Terry, that's what I call you, Cutting Terry. What do you say about being able to about the $50 conundrum on the first date? What should a guy or a woman expect to pay on a first date? Or do you have anything that you say is a reasonable amount? What say you on that one? Or anybody else? Because I know we can go a little bit deeper if y'all want to. I just got a couple other things on my mind tonight. But we could go a little bit deeper with this thing if y'all want about who should be taking who out on the first date, why that should be happening, and at what determines that. You know what I mean? Do y'all got anything to say about this? Let us know what it is. Let me know what it is, Miss Terry, Mr. Simmons, Mr. Perry. You know, I know Mr. Stokes was here. Kane Long was there for a second. You know, if y'all got something to say about it, let it be known real quick. I know y'all here with me because I see the numbers. So let us know. Mr. Simmons says, can anyone remember their first date expenses? Because for me, it was more than $50 back then. Wow. So when you say back then, you talking about 10, 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right? 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? If you're talking about 10, 20, 30 years ago, do that mean that more than $50 was probably like 100 or probably almost, or if not more than double? You know what I'm saying? So if you could equate that, what do you think that would cost now, Mr. Simmons? Because that's heavy. I didn't used to back in the days. I think I can't remember first dates, but I know we used to just have. That's one of the things that I like to do. I like to just have fun. So I don't really care how much it costs or who pay for it. I just like to have fun. And if we gonna go, let's just get it done. Let's not even worry about the cost. Let's just go. I mean, let's not be silly and go crazy, right? We ain't gonna go out and be like, okay, we're going on an airplane ride or nothing like that. I mean, like a local airplane ride, but I want to go somewhere where it's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? And be able to do what we do. Miss Terry said, I don't think it should matter how much a person spends on a first date. A first date could be at a coffee shop. I know coffee will not be $50. But no, coffee won't be $50. But they do got some gourmet stuff out there, though. They got some gourmet stuff out there, Miss Terry. And they got some some what they call those things, apple fritters and stuff like that, that could really get expensive, especially if you not trying to just be like, okay, I'm fancy and eating 2 or 3 of them when drinking a cup or 2 of coffee. Because if you having a good conversation with somebody, and coffee is at a premium these days, because we ain't talking about that dollar stuff. Well, I guess the dollar stuff is good too. But I know places like Starbucks be like $7, $8 for coffee. They be clowning up in there, right? So if you go with like $8, that's 8.16, maybe 8.16. A couple little side things, little things on the side. So you might be talking about $30 total. So that's close. You getting close. You know what I'm saying? Don't run no extras up, especially if you having a good time, because a good time could get you there for 3 or 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to that little 15 or 20-minute first date. Mr. Simmons said, no, not sure, but it was bowling drinks. Oh man, Mr. Simmons, you bringing up some memories right there. Ooh, we bowling. I can't, man. I would like to go on a date where it's bowling again. So any women out here that might see this and want to date me, you know what I'm saying? Take me bowling. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna cost about $48 these days. You feel me? Let's do it. Mr. Perry said, if it's expensive on the first date, a lot of people will expect that every time. Yeah, man, that is so true. That's so true. Hey, when it's expensive on that first date, people will go crazy. The next time. They'll be expecting $200, $300, $400 the next time. You know what I'm saying? And they'll listen. They'll be just looking at you as a time machine, or today, Cash App. A Cash App donator, because they'll do the time machine too much. Some people do, but they don't do it as much as they used to. So they'll look at it as a Cash App donator. You know what I'm saying? They'll be looking like, man, can you hit my Cash App for me? You know, because they know that you can spend that bread and you're gonna do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? But vice versa. I mean, the men got to start looking at the women like that too, because these women out here, you know, you got women out here making 75,000, 150,000, 200,000. You know what I'm saying? 100,000. They getting it. You know what I'm saying? So all should be in one pot, and let's spend accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Miss Terry said, "How much coffee y'all drinking, boy?" Oh, she got the smiley, the laugh emoji there too. Yeah, you know what though, Miss Terry, you know, depending on how good the conversation is, you know, sometimes you get into a conversation with somebody and that conversation to be going, you know, you got some conversations that got that they take a gap every minute or so, and they be like, oh, you know, it's dead, and then that one dead, then the conversation don't go but 20, 30 minutes. Then you got the conversation that don't stop, where somebody, the man or the woman, or the man and the woman, can carry a conversation for 2-3 hours, and 4 hours, or sometimes you look up and the whole day gone past. You know what I'm saying? And now you done drank some coffee, and got busy with it. Me personally, I don't drink coffee, but you know what I'm saying? I get the idea. You dig what I'm saying? But if you know some good coffee spots, feel free to ask, for a date. You feel me? I'll show you about how much coffee I can drink. Mr. Simmons said, well, if they expect that the next time, remember that there are only one first date. So that will be the next date. So things have definitely advanced. Hey, check it out though. That's true, Mr. Simmons. That's true. Like, it's only one first date. You're only going on one. So what should be done on the second date then, Mr. Simmons? Should you lighten up, or should you go up, or should you be like, okay, it's your turn? How should that go on the second date then? Should you switch it out? What should we do on that second round of it? You know what I mean? I'm sitting there thinking like this, right? If we go on the first date and it's a good first date, and we spent significant money, which whatever that is, it could be $40, or like Miss Terry said, we could drink 3 cups of coffee at $7 a piece. That's 21 plus 21. That's 42, and then we ate some crumpets or something, or some what they call them, some streusels or something like that right there. You know what I'm saying? Now we at about 65, $70. Wow, we doing our thing. So we had about 65, $70. I'm gonna look to go to another place the next time. You know what I'm saying? And when I go to that next place, it's gonna be on. We really gonna get it in then. You know what I mean? But here's the cold part. What if you go on a really expensive first date, like the restaurant that's out in Sin City? Go to that restaurant on the first date, right? Just for fun. Just for fun. And then where do we go from there? Do we go down to the $50 spot, or do we go up to the $400 spot? So what you say about that one, Mr. Simmons? Where would you go from there? Because that's a very interesting next step. You know what I mean? By the way, anybody that's in Milwaukee right now, are y'all hearing that thunder that's outside? It went from 68 degrees. I know I seen 68. It might have been more, but it went from 68 degrees, and I'm listening to thunder outside now. So anybody that's in Milwaukee, if y'all hear that, let me know that y'all hear that too. And I'm not just tripping because I'm on a lower level right now. I'm taking cover. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what you say, Miss Terry? You the only woman here. Why don't you come on and join the show real quick? Let us know. Let us see who you are, because don't nobody in here know who you is. And well, we know who you is because we see you on Facebook and stuff like that. But you got to come on in here and put your spill on it just the same way Ice did, so that we can know who we talking about. And maybe somebody might be like, man, I think she's worth at least $50 to $100 on the first date. You know what I'm saying? Just to get some conversation and have a good talk with her. You know what I'm saying? And see where she want to take this thing to. You know what I mean? What you say about that, Miss Terry? What your first dates be like? If you had a first date and you was going to go out there with a man and you going to ask him, you going to say, hey, I want to take you on this first date. What would you take him on? Talk to me about that. Write something up while I'm reading Mr. Simmons' thing. Mr. Simmons says she definitely has to be that person because, as you know, that place is in the desert. Is an eye opener. It's an eye opener. Yeah, it's an eye opener. No joke, Mr. Simmons. Hey, that's kind of cool how you said an eye opener. Wow. I think we understand what that means. It's an eye opener. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Miss Terry live out there, so she might know that it's an eye opener too. You know what I mean? I don't know, though. I ain't going to say what it is, but she might know it's an eye-opener as well. So next time we go out there, we all going to have to link up, like Ice said, and see what we can put together. You feel me? But just to see what we can do. Anyway, we said we was going to be on for an hour tonight, y'all, and we're going to try to stick to that, just tonight. As time go along, and the weather get better and we start doing other things and we're not as tired as we once was, then we're going to start taking them longer and longer again, and until we pull an all-nighter getting it on with 6 or 7 people on the format. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking about going over to a studio to do one of the shows. If anybody is interested, let me know, because we can have a real live conversation up in the studio. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do it if it's just me and Ice. We would like to have 3 or 4 people there that's willing to participate in the show so that we can have a good time and do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, for now, I think we had a good time as far as it go. I think $50 or even less than $50 is good for a first date. You know what I'm saying? You make the judgment call. Put some comments up in this video when you get done. Let us know what it is and see let us see what y'all thinking about. Mr. Perry, he shot one more out there. He said Golden Corral as a test to see how she act. Man, Mr. Perry, that's a cold test right there. I don't even know. Do we got Golden Corral around Milwaukee still? I know it was out here somewhere. But yeah, them is Mr. Perry, you sound like me because I sure throw that test out there. Just put it out there just to see how they act, just to see where it go. You know, ride her up there to Ponderosa and everything. Oh, okay, it's out there in Brookfield. Okay. Yeah, it's out there in Brookfield. We'll be able to go ahead and get it on. Yeah, that's I might go ahead and take them out there to the Golden Corral next time. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's not the first date, if it's the next date, I'm gonna go out there and be like, boom, let's do it. Let's have some fun out here. And if she go crazy and act wild, she got to get out the car. She gonna have to walk home from Brookfield, Mr. Perry. Thank you for that info right there. Yeah, so we can do it the right way. Hey, but anyway, so Mr. Perry, Mr. Simmons, me, Ice, Miss Terry, LA came through. GT, I see you up there. Kane Long, aka Mr. Mitchell, he was there too. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else that looked but didn't say anything? Terry G. If you looked and didn't say anything, and if you did say something, we definitely appreciate it. Share this video if you want. Share it to your friends outside. And let them take a look at it and see if they want to do something, or share any other videos that we done did. And we about to sign out for the night. But we had fun. I love y'all. And I'm going to say peace. Peace, y'all.